Hey everybody, good morning. I'm just going to make sure that I am broadcasting right side up. And good. You can all hear me. I hope you can't hear that fan. I'm sorry, it's so hot here that even my basement is hot. So, really would be horrible if I didn't at least try and have some air on. Anyway, good morning from wherever you are. I'll just wait and see. Hi, Sarah. Is it hot in Saskatchewan too? It's the problem for Vancouverites is that most people, unless they have a really new home or condo, don't have central air. So when the temperatures get up to 30 or something, we kind of can handle it. You can't hear me over your fan? Okay, I'm going to turn it off then. Thanks, Dan. Okay, Leanne, can you hear me now? Am I better? Or do I need to turn up my phone, maybe? Maybe that's the problem. I think I'm brain dead. I think I'm brain dead. Hi, Mo. Hi, Linda. Good morning, Gail. Can you guys hear me? Somebody just make a comment. Oh, your own fan. I'm sorry. You know what? I think our brains are fried from this heat, right? So Leah couldn't hear me over her own fan, but I mentioned my fan and I thought she couldn't hear me. So I'm going to turn the fan back on. Okay. Gosh, you gotta love live, eh? It's like, what did these people do in the old days when they had live TV? It must have been petrifying. And thanks, Trish. I turned it back on. Hi, Ellie. Yeah, it's like what I was saying is most of us don't have central air. So I have two rickety old window air conditioners that I'm very grateful for. But honestly, the noise they make, I'm thinking they're going to croak. I should touch wood, though. They're not going to croak. Anyway, so you can sleep because it's not cold. I mean, it's not hot, but you can't sleep because you wake up with the noise of the fan. So I don't know. Good morning, Southern California. That sounds wonderful. It's 42 degrees here today. The humidity isn't too bad, I don't think. I don't know if you're from America, 42 would be about 108. And we do not get those temperatures in Vancouver. Like that is just, I don't know. It's so hot. Okay, let's stamp because what's better, you can't go outside if you live in Vancouver. So you might as well stamp, right? Okay, so this morning I'm going to show you another Sunday sketch, a Border Buddy Sunday sketch. So every Sunday, if you go to my blog at stampcrazywithallison.ca, you will see a card that I've made, or my partner Patsy Wagner in the US has made, using a sketch, an exclusive sketch that we've come up with. So today I'm going to share with you this great new suite called Beauty of the Earth. It's really pretty. Isn't that pretty? So the suite, I like when Stampin' Up bundles things, like they have dies that match the stamps, and then they have paper that goes with the stamps, and sometimes they have an embellishment that goes with it too. So in the case of Beauty of the Earth, let me show you what it comes with. And of course, you can buy these all individually. You don't have to buy the suite. You can buy just the paper, just the stamps, or whatever you'd like. So here's the DSP. Now, it's see here, I've cut it to 6 by 12 just so I can fit it into my screen more or less. Okay, so you've got 12 sheets, 12 by 12. There's 6 designs double-sided. So this is one side, and I just look at this, these beautiful colors, right? Gorgeous. So you can see them here. I particularly, for some reason, love this piece. It's got a pattern on the bottom and a pattern on the other side. And when you cut it in half, you literally have a stamped image. All you have to do is stick a sentiment on it. At least that's how I look at it. So that's the one side. And here's the other side. Oops. Oh, I've got two the same. Oh, well, that's okay. So you have the other side that's kind of more neutrals, right? A wood and so on. Sometimes what I do is by the time I get to doing my live, I've used up all the paper of one design, and that looks like it's happened today. So that's okay. Okay, so here's the stamp set, Beauty of Friendship, which I showed you in the catalog. And then we've got the beautiful trees dies. Get those. Whoop. For some reason, I can never get dies back on the mat the way that Stampin' Up sends them out. Can anybody else? It's like a puzzle. Look at this. Okay, that's good. But then I don't know where this little guy is, so I just throw him down. So we're going to use some of those in our card today. So I'll show you how those work. All right. And then lastly, the last item that's in the suite is the Bark 3D embossing folder. So hopefully you can see that. Hi, Jennifer. Good morning. Okay. So let's look at our sketch. So here's the sketch that was on today's blog. It's pretty straightforward. I start with a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock, and I folded it in half. And this is Misty Moonlight. Isn't it pretty? So it's not dark like Night of Navy, but it's not light like some of the other colors. Just one second, Stella. I just closed my door so that we can't hear dogs and everybody else upstairs. All right. So there's my card base. And then I want to take my card base and I want to run it through the embossing folder. But I'm going to show you the other pieces that I've cut already. So I've gone ahead and cut this piece, which is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I love this. Look at this. It's just like trees, kind of in a, I don't know what you would say, very monochromatic, I don't know, watercolor type, I guess, painting. I really like that. So that's going on to my card front like that. And then I've got that piece that I love. Remember I was telling you that I love it because it looks like it's already stamped. You just have to add something. That's going here. And then I've got a piece to go here. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is take my embossing folder. And this is one of those 3D embossing folders, which means it's really thick, so you get a really nice impression. And to do half a card, I would just line it up with the edge here and fold that down and then run that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is my large machine. You can't fit this. Good morning, Jacqueline. I love the sweet too. You can't fit this in the mini one. Okay, so for the purposes of a live like I'm doing, to drag over my big shot would be kind of cumbersome and disruptive. So through the magic of television, I've embossed it, okay? Because I think you guys know how to do this, right? You're going to use the big gray plate along with the platform to run that through. Okay, so then we've got this done. Awesome. Next up is going to bring in my favorite glue, which is the multi-purpose glue. I love this glue. And I'm going to stick my pieces on. Okay, so I've got, is that pretty? That's the other, oh, that's the other side I think I was missing earlier. I think the heat, I don't know, has anybody else, I keep talking about the heat, but does anybody else find the heat has messed with your head? Like you can't think straight? My goodness. I could never live in a hot climate. Okay. All right, then the next piece is going to be that pretty piece that I love that you just can use on a card so easily without anything else, really. I'll just stick that down like that. Okay, so that's the basis. Now, I usually tell you guys on Sunday, you don't have to do the sketch exactly like it's shown on the picture. You could use, instead of designer spheres paper here, you could use cardstock and emboss it. You can stamp it. You can do whatever you'd like. This piece could be a fully stamped piece if that's what you like. Okay, so just use it as a starting point. Don't use it as you absolutely have to keep it the same. Now I am going to bring in my, hi Leslie, nice to, well I'm not seeing you, but gosh, it's nice to have you here. Hi. And Carly, my daughter, she's so supportive. She's upstairs watching me. Okay. So love my little mini emboss machine, as you know. So I'm going to grab those dies, and I'm going to use this big tree. Isn't this great? Look at that tree. And I'm going to use this kind of, I don't know, mottled looking thing. Okay. Oh, look, there's even little birds in a little tree. How cute. So, you know, most of our dies, when it comes with a stamp set, they'll actually cut out the images. I'm sure you guys know that, but just in case, let me show you what I mean. So for instance, this one here, just one sec, this one here would cut out this tree, and this one here would cut out this tree, okay? So, and then there's other pieces that cut out bigger ones, all right? I love that. No fussy cutting. Okay, so on your cut and emboss machine, when you get it, it tells you on the plates which plate is for what, okay? Normally with the die cuts, they tell you to use plate number 1, which is the white plate, but I use plate number 3 for my die cutting. It just always grabs my die and my paper, and I just prefer it, okay? It's just me. So I'm just a rebel, I guess. I'm gonna use Cajun Craze paper, and I've got my big tree here. Okay, and I love that these ones can go through the mini machine, right? Because I just keep it on my desk, and it's so handy. I keep my big one over on my sideboard for my embossing and any other dies that are just too large. I tend to go through one way and then come back through the other. Okay, so here we go. Put that. Just set that aside for a sec. And then I'm going to bring in, remember that paper I was showing you before, the designer series paper, this beautiful, just, I don't know, watercolor look paper. I'm going to take that die, I don't even know, I don't know, it's it layers on top of the trees, and I really love the colors. So I wanted to show how you don't even have to stamp something to put on top. You can just use this gorgeous designer series paper. Okay. Oh, good morning, Pat. Okay. All right, so we can set that aside. And now I'm just going to grab a piece of paper so that all these little bits can fall out onto the paper. And then you just kind of use your fingers to squirt out all the bits. And then you're left with this piece, isn't that gorgeous? Which is just, we're gonna layer on top of our tree. Love that. Okay, put that aside. And then we've got our branches. I find this one, we'll talk a little bit while I'm doing this. I find this one is so delicate, like the little branches, and I just take my time and pull it out. Okay, so if I break something, it's not the end of the world, because of course I'm going to put that other piece on top. And if you were doing this yourself at home, you would take all the time to make sure, but I'm on a live video, so I don't want to spend all my time pulling it out. If you use one of our adhesive sheets that I sometimes use for these delicate things, it'll probably pop out just a little bit easier. Okay, but anyway, we've got it. But that doesn't want to. All right, good. That's the branch. Thank you. Let go. There we go. Just got this little piece here, and I probably need to turn my plates over. If you ever find that things are just getting a little too stuck or not releasing from your die, it's probably because the pressure from your plate isn't quite as strong as it could be. And what I forgot to do is I turn my plates over. I'll show you what I mean. So if I bring my plates in, right, so you can see that there's probably a gap here. I should have turned these over and made a tighter fit through the roller. And that's just turning them each time you use it. Okay, so I've got my tree, I've got my branches, I've got my dies, and I always keep a piece of magnetic sheet here, and I put my dies on them because I lose my dies. I'm sure none of you have ever lost a die, but I tend to lose them frequently on my desk. Because you get creating and then you think, oh yeah, where's my die? All right, so I'm going to bring back in my pieces here. And I want to stick my tree on like so. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Hi, Diane. Good morning. Oh, Tam's coming too. Great. Okay, so on the back of my die cut, I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue. And I can put a little bit more on the bottom, right? Now, these are getting quite fine as we get up to the top, right? So I'm just going to put dots of glue on. Can you see that? So just want the tiniest little bit of glue on my branches. And you don't have to put them on all. You just kind of want it so that you get this stuck down well. Don't worry too much if the glue oozes out. Now, ooze is a bad word. It spreads a little bit. Because it dries clear. Okay, so I'm going to decide where I want this, and I'm just going to stick it down. Okay, so it's mostly stuck. There we go. Okay, so far. Now that's nice, but it looks kind of sad. So we're going to put this on top. Isn't that beautiful? Love it. Now, I was thinking maybe, excuse me, if I can find my small dimensionals, which of course are probably nowhere to be found. Oh, here they are. I'm thinking that there's probably enough large spaces on here that I could put some dimensionals on here and have it stand up. What do you think? I could glue it down, but I think it would be nicer if it had a little bit more dimension. What do you guys think? You guys are quiet. You're melting, I'm sure. I'm sure all the people in Ontario are laughing at us like, people, we put up with this every summer. Yeah, we know. That's why we live here. We don't want to put up with it. we don't have the infrastructure really. Like even places that are air conditioning, large places, like our vaccination centers, for instance, are closing today because they can't maintain the temperature that's comfortable with people, for people with masks. So that tells you how serious it is around here. Okay, that looks good, eh? And I'll just pop that on there. Let's see, how do I want it? Like that. I love this die. What do you think? So far, so good? Okay. Okay, the last thing I want to do is add a sentiment. So I'm going to bring in my Beauty Friendship stamp set, and I'm going to use Thinking of You. This is what I did on my card today. Okay. Hopefully that's straight. Actually, I will use a piece of grid paper so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. Okay. And look that up. And I'm going to bring in a piece of Very Vanilla. I thought it went kind of nicely with the, okay, kind of crooked. I have to lean over. Better. You know, when you stamp for camera, right, you can't really stick your head over where you're working. I'm gonna bring in my little tiny cutter here and just trim this. Okay. That's good. And this in, here we go. And we're gonna put some dimensionals on the back. I don't know whether the big ones, I'm gonna have to use the little ones. Okay. Right, I'm so glad you guys are joining me on Sundays. Appreciate it. Whoop. Don't forget to check out my blog. Today and any Sunday. You can go back and flip through and look for Sundays, and you'll see a whole bunch of different Sunday sketches. Okay. Thinking of You. Here we go. All right. And then I thought, well, it's all, oh, hi Vicki, nice to see you. Hi Angie. thought it would be nice to add something, a little, there's sort of this thing of add something soft. I think this is kind of soft. So sometimes ribbon is considered soft, and something with a little bit more hardness. So I've got these round opal gems, which I love. Not part of the suite, but they are nice and like a mother of pearl look, right? So just give it a little bit of... Now, if you've been joining me each week, you know that I love Stella, and I put it on everything. And my original card I did not put it on, but today I'm going to put on Stella. So I'm just going to pick some of these parts on my cut out piece and add some little sparkle to it. I think this card appeals to me today because it makes me feel cooler, because it's like the fall versus the outrageous surface of the sun that we're experiencing today. All right, so that's my interpretation of my sketch. Okay, so I hope that you guys will... Oh, Tam, can you use the dies with the foam sheets? I don't see why not. Give it a try. You know, I always say, if you're not sure, give it a try. I would probably use the larger machine for that, just to get a nice press, right? Okay, so let me show you some other cards using the same Beauty of Friendship, okay? Bring some in here. So first of all, I was telling you guys about that paper that I love. So look at, I just made this really simple. Really simple. This is all the paper. I've just cut a sheet. So if I were using that one sheet, 12 by 12, I could get 6 cards with equal to look like this. That would be nice for like a mass production, right? And then here is another one. It's very wintry card, if you had someone with a winter birthday even. Okay, but this is written, this is sort of stamped for Christmas, right? So the birds are part of the dies too, you guys. And there's that gorgeous paper that I used today. Isn't that pretty? Okay, then we've got this one. I believe my sister Mo made this one. It's got her signature corner. I call it the Mo corner. She does these brilliant little, she cuts these and makes them like a little pocket, and then she takes a card that would normally be like this and she sticks it in here. So I think this would be her card, but it might be my other sister Ellie's card. I'm not sure, because they borrow things and do things, so it's, I believe it's one of them. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and it's got Stella. Okay, and there's that. Look at that paper. Is that just gorgeous? Kind of wish I'd used that paper now. Oh well. And then lastly, I've got this card. So again, sort of the same elements that we used in the earlier card, right? We've got that paper that I love, but I've just used strips of it. And then we've got it folded. And then this is the branch again. And then this is the same designer series paper, just cut with that die, put on top. Okay, and there's that rule of, you know, soft, which is the soft twine, and then hard, which are the opals, okay? All right, so those are the cards today, but let me just show you something else before we go. I've got a bit of time. Every month, I tell you this, but I want to always remind people that every month I do a Border Buddy free PDF with my partner in the States, Patsy Wagner, okay? And we produced a document, a PDF, with 8 cards using a suite that we've chosen. So in the month of June, we have chosen Pansy Petals, which we love. So anybody who makes a purchase in my store or Patsy's store for any value gets an 8-page PDF. So let me just show you. So we've got, here we go, all right? So it's got the instructions and the supplies and the measurements, okay, for 8 cards. All right, and then anyone who in Canada who orders from me and the value is $50 or more gets 2 of those cards in the mail. So let me show you the cards. Sometimes when you see them not in the PDF, they look really Nice. Here's one. Here's one of my cards for this month. Here's another. And I didn't even stamp these. These pansies are not stamped. They are cut out from the designer series paper, and apparently you can get like 110 flowers according to Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up. And the leaves are also on a separate sheet. I'm just looking in here. My sister Mo is telling me that Ellie made that beautiful card with the little pocket. So thanks, Ellie. They're very good to me. They mail me cards. Here's another one from the PDF. Again, these are not stamped. They're cut right out of the paper. The leaves are stamped. Okay. And then this is the gorgeous pansy paper too, which is beautiful. And here's another one. It's part of the PDF. Okay. And then here's just some other cards that you might want to see using this set. Now, Mo did make me this card. There's her signature little pocket. Isn't that pretty? And then the little bee trinkets that are part of the suite. This was the card we made a couple of weeks ago or last week. I can't remember. We made this one of the weeks on our Sunday sketches. So just taking you through and showing you some ideas. I love these pansies. This one here is a box card, they call it. Lies flat for mailing and then stands up. This was a card I made for one of my Sunday sketches, maybe a couple weeks ago. So go back and check on my blog. Here's another one with, these are the dies that have cut out part of this pansy. Isn't that pretty? And of course the little bee trinket. Last week we used that border, those new border dies, and there's another example of those border dies that we used. And lastly, I don't know what this is called. This might be a tower card. I'm not sure. But there's lots of instructions if you Google tower cards. All right. And then the last thing I offer my customers is for every $25 that they spend with me before shipping and taxes, I keep a little card. I put their name on my card, and on the other side, for $25, they get a little box punched. And when it's full, they get $25, a $25 stamp set of their choice for free. Now, this is only for online orders. So these are for orders that people put on my online store and use the host code. Okay? And then lastly, if they use the host code, I send them a small gift as a thank you, because I appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. For everybody in my areas, please stay safe and try and stay cool. Take a bucket outside, maybe with some cold water, and stick your feet in it. I will see you all next week. Happy stamping.